Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. 2 months after a bishop approved by the Vatican, 10 priests and an unspecified number of seminarians were arrested by police in China. Their whereabouts still remain unknown. US-based International Christian Concern has issued a statement demanding the release of Bishop Joseph Zhang Weizhou of Xinjiang in Henan province, who was arrested on May the 21st, a day after priests and seminarians were rounded up for allegedly violating the new rules on religious affairs. There were reports earlier that those arrested were subjected to sessions aimed at inculcating the so-called principles of religious freedom granted by the Chinese Communist Party. The 63-year-old prelate has been heading the diocese since 1991 after his clandestine consecration. Dioceses loyal to the Vatican are part of the underground church in China, while others are part of the Chinese Catholic Patriotic Association. Catholic bishops of European Union countries have urged the bloc to step up efforts to protect religious freedom against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the bishops, such a mission ought to come as a part of the EU's efforts to bolster its role as a, quote, global humanitarian, economic and peace actor. The Commission of Bishops' Conferences of the European Union said in a joint statement with the Non-Catholic Conference of European Churches that vulnerable religious groups are being subjected to discrimination, intolerance and in some cases persecution. The Commission said that the EU needs to pay particular attention to shielding and promoting religious freedom. It also said the bloc should revise its 2013 guidelines on religious freedom and put in place a mechanism to reinforce them in line with a new European strategic culture of peace. As South Africa reels from unrest caused by poverty and the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma, Pope Francis has appealed to politicians, leaders and those involved in the violence to engage in constructive collaboration for peace and to assist those in need. As many as 200 people have been killed in riots across the country, and there has been rampant looting of shops and establishments. Police have arrested over 2,500 people so far for being involved in the violence. The Holy Father said the desire that guided the people of South Africa and saw the rebirth of harmony among its children should never be forgotten. Meanwhile, President Cyril Ramaphosa said that the unrest has cost the country billions of rand. Experts also fear a rise in the number of coronavirus infections after the series of riots and protests across the nation. The Fellowship of Catholic University Students, also known as FOCUS, is linking up with parishes and campus ministries to send 800 missionaries to serve in 205 locations, including 22 parishes in the United States and 7 international campuses. This comes as several universities are returning to in-person learning and events. Some of the new FOCUS campus locations include the University of Georgia, Clemson University, the University of Miami and San Francisco State University. The missionaries will aim to reanimate students and parishioners in the faith through Bible studies, outreach events and mission trips. FOCUS hopes to trigger a springtime of religious vocations through fruitful tie-ups with campus ministries. It is also looking at sending 1,300 missionaries to 250 higher educational institutions and dozens of parishes in the next 5 years. The Diocese of Reno in the US state of Nevada has a new bishop, as the Holy Father has named Bishop Daniel Henry Mugenborg as the successor to Bishop Randolph Roque Calvo, who stepped down from pastoral duties. Bishop Mugenborg has been serving as auxiliary bishop of the Archdiocese of Seattle since 2017. Born in 1962 in Oklahoma, he graduated in geology from Oklahoma State University before joining the seminary in 1984. An alumnus of the Pontifical Gregorian University in Rome, he was ordained in 1989 in Tulsa. He served in various capacities as parochial vicar, high school chaplain, and vice-rector for administration at the Pontifical North American College in Rome. In April 2017, Pope Francis appointed him auxiliary bishop of the Seattle Archdiocese, and he was consecrated on May the 31st of the same year by our Archbishop Peter Sartain. Ad Multisanos, Bishop Mugenborg. The Vatican has released the names of the members of the 2 commissions assisting in the preparation of the Synod of Bishops in 2023. The website of the Synod mentions that the Theology Committee and the Methodology Commission will include members of the religious and lay experts from throughout the world, who will be responsible for aiding the General Secretariat in examining documents, writing resources and developing best practices. The Synod on Synodality will begin in October 2021 with a diocesan phase and end in October 2023 with the 16th Ordinary General Assembly of the Synod of Bishops at the Vatican. The theme for the forthcoming assembly is For a Synodal Church, Communion, Participation and Mission. While the Theological Committee will be headed by Bishop Luis Marin de San Martin, the Methodology Commission will be led by Sister Nathalie Beckaert. Pope Francis has expressed deep sadness over a bomb blast in the Iraqi capital that left at least 30 people dead. The Holy Father expressed his condolences to the relatives and friends of the victims of the explosion that took place at a market in Baghdad on Tuesday, July the 20th, as people were preparing to celebrate the Islamic feast of Eid-Al-Adha. In a telegram sent to the Apostolic Nuncio on behalf of the Pope on Tuesday evening, Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin said the Holy Father entrusted the souls of the victims to the mercy of God and renewed his call for reconciliation. A bomb went off on Tuesday as shoppers were rushing to buy what they needed for the festival in a market in the northern Sadr area of Baghdad. Dozens were wounded in the blast, which is the deadliest attack in the capital in the past 6 months. Catholic bishops in the United States have expressed solidarity with the Cuban people as civilian protests in support of greater democracy continue in the country. In a statement signed by Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles, who heads the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, and Bishop David Malloy of Rockford, chairman of the USCCB's Committee on International Justice and Peace, the prelates said a favourable solution in Cuba will not be reached by impositions or confrontation, but only through mutual listening. The bishop said concrete and tangible steps have to be taken with the involvement of all Cubans to build up the country. Thousands of Cubans marched on the streets recently to protest against widespread economic problems, a lack of fundamental liberties, and the government's handling of the coronavirus outbreak. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.